Hi, this is Danny Doyle, and happy Pride, everyone. In celebration of gay, homosexual, gay, homosexual, gay, I thought it would be fun to take a look at the gayest Fire Emblem in history and rank whether all of the characters in Path of Radiance are tops, bottoms, or switches. But this task seemed a little bit too grueling to do on my own. So I have brought my good friend and co-host, Stigurna. Stigurna, you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi, I'm Stigurna. I was in the Fire Emblem relay we did.
Yeah, you killed Reyson. You killed Reyson!
I killed Reyson, I killed Titania, it was great.
Oh wait, you killed Titania. Oh yeah, in the finale, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Well, maybe from your expert experience of killing off these characters, you got a unique insight into where they lie on the top-bottom switch spectrum.
Yeah. So Oscar didn't die, so he's top tier.
Oh no, Oscar never belongs in any sort of top situation. Oh, Oscar, I have such a hate boner for this guy. But
let's start with Ike, right?
Yeah, I've got a controversial Ike take. I'm gonna open up with some spice. I'm gonna open it up with some. People are not gonna be happy about this, but I have always read Ike as asexual. I know there's like the debate between whether Ike is gay or ace. I think it can be both. I feel like he can be, only attracted to men, but also asexual. But I've always read him as ace. I can't really put a finger on why. It just feels that way. How do you feel about that?
Well, I think some people felt like the English localization, at the very least, kind of had, in FE9, had something that maybe there could be something between Alicia and that, but I think Ace is a pretty good interpretation of Ike's character. I actually completely agree that I think that is like the easiest place to place him. Though I do want to say that in Ike's and Leth's support, Ike is like, oh, punish me more, Leth. Because they're like training and sparring.
Well,
and
if
Leth is very bloody.
So Ace leaning bottom, perhaps? Because aces can be it's a spectrum. I'm gray ace, and I still would fall into one of these categories.
Yeah, I know, but it's I think it's just funny. I just want to he likes the fighting. He likes the cat girl scratches.
Rawr. Do we want to talk about cat girl scratches now? We can sort of jump around as the conversation dictates. Where do you have any insight into Leth based off of that?
Well, Leth as a person, I like I like her design, but she's very kind of unfriendly, I want to say, or like scared of growing close, very aggressive, I guess.
True. I would say with good reason.
Yeah. So I know if that's like it's like her way or the highway, maybe. So I'm thinking maybe top.
The top slander. Oh my god. I'll put her there. I'll put her there. I'll put her there if only because cat girls deserve to be tops for once, and I feel like for some of these characters we might just say has cat ears and tail, therefore bottom. Like I'm kind of leaning that way with Ranulf. Ranulf feels, I don't know why, maybe he's a switch, but he's giving off some switch or bottom energy.
Yeah. No, I see it.
Which one are we thinking?
I don't know. I think Switch is more appropriate for him.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. He feels like the sort of guy he could do he could do whatever he wants. He's flexible like that. He talks about, the benefits of the tail, and one of those benefits could be, now you've got an extra limb to dominate with. Rawr.
Yeah, and he's just kind of chill,
He is. He's just go with the
guy,
flow.
But,
he'd be a generous lover. He'd be a generous lover. He'd do what his partner wants. But and I guess if his partner is Ace, then as a generous lover, his thing would just be, well, I'm okay with that. Then we don't have to do anything. Since I think that the most common sort of ship is Ike Ranulf, since they do have that paired ending.
Yeah.
Although Ike's other partner is definitely a fucking bratty bottom. Like, have you read Soren's Engage supports? There has never been a brattier bottom in the history of bratty bottoms. This man, I'm telling you.
I have not read them, but they seem really funny, and I kind of want to now.
No, they are like peak bratty bottom energy. I don't recall asking your opinion. I think you should shut up now. Like, part of it is the delivery is so fucking... It is peak bratty bottom energy. Like, that is what Soren is. Soren is the brattiest brat who ever bratted. And I will not accept any criticism of this take.
Yeah, that adds up.
Do you have any thoughts about Boyd?
And Boyd just kind of like a, kind of hot-headed guy. I think, I don't really know where he leans. Maybe, I don't know, it's hard to see him bottom. But it's also hard to see him ace, for me, anyway.
I mean, does that put you in top then? If you don't think he could bottom?
I think that's how I feel. Just when I see Boyd, and have him interact, that's like the only place I could place him, I think.
But like the only I mean, not to delve into the child here, but the only like canon ship is Boyd Mist. They end up getting married at the end of Radiant Dawn.
Oh, I didn't know.
And I don't see that as the sort of thing where like he's a little sweetheart. I love Boyd. As much as I have a hate boner for Oscar. I do really love the brothers as characters, and I think they're all very sweet. There's a lot of sweet stuff with them.
Yeah.
And I feel that he's a kind top. I feel like the idea of, we're putting the hotheads in top, that's top slander. And I will not stand for that, because not all of us are hashtag not all tops. Hashtag not all tops. You can be a generous lover and be a dominant generous lover and take charge.
Like topping isn't always just about like, the extreme stuff and the very, very dominant. It's like it can also just like be the like who's more like taking charge of it,
And in a similar vein, bottoming is not always about submission. Like Titania is absolutely a power bottom, and I don't feel like I need to elaborate on that.
Yeah, no, I see it. I definitely see it. To me, it's like maybe the one part in her life where she can like feel liberated, by giving up kind of control.
Yeah, she's like the CEO who spends all day working super hard, and then at the end of the day goes to a dungeon and pays to bottom. She's like that. She's that.
I see that. I see that concept.
And I would say, okay, so where's Greil? Is Greil in here? Because I know they're not a thing, right? Like that's I do love their relationship. I think it's unrequited love, right? But it's done well. But I do feel like it's sort of a good jumping off to Greil just from that perspective. And I don't know. I don't know how, because we don't really see him in his prime other than like flashbacks that aren't really related to too much personality stuff.
Yeah, a lot of these characters are going to be just like gut feelings.
I want to say Switch. I don't know why.
Mm-hmm. I think I can see that.
Yeah, I'm gonna put him there. This is going to seem like a question out of left field, but it's not. Do you think that this is actually very important, and will determine a couple of character placements? Do you think there's garlic bread in Tellius? Please take this topic with the seriousness that it deserves. We're scholars. We're scholars.
I mean, they have meat pies. They definitely have butter, you know? Because they could make garlic butter with bread, right? Surely someone's discovered it, at least in Radiant Dawn, right?
So I would say then, that probably pretty firmly lands the two characters obsessed with food in the ace category.
That there is garlic bread?
Yeah, Ace is in our garlic bread. Look, you can't... Oscar, actually, you say it was probably invented in Radiant Dawn. Oscar probably is the person who invented garlic bread, and then shared it with Ileana, and then, like, that is how the Aces Love Garlic Bread thing started, honestly. Oscar is the origin point. We found Subject Zero. Thank God. One good fucking thing Oscar did in his life. I may have a hate boner for this man, but I can respect his contributions to the culinary arts.
And since we're talking about, by extension, Ileana, I want to say that, she is kind of gay. She like kind of gay, with Lucia. She's like, "Oh, you're so beautiful and strong. Please don't leave me." I know it's a lot about the food, the fact that she gave her food, but I think that's a cute line. So, also, she eats Mia's feet.
What? Wait, what?
Yeah, so y'all probably don't know this, because why the hell would you use Mia and Ileana and pair them up? But in their A support, Ileana starts chewing on Mia's feet and is like, yummy. I'm not making this up.
What the fuck is Tellius? What the fuck is wrong with Tellius? Not to kink shame. Mia's a top.
Yeah.
Not to kink shame, but Mia's a top. And I believe that means if Rhys is her rival, Rhys is her white-clad rival, then he also has to be a top. You know, they're rival dominatrixes.
I cannot see Rhys as a top.
That's true. I guess it was, like, mostly a misunderstanding, where the joke is that Maya is so weak that Rhys, the frail old healer, I mean, not healer, but sickly young healer, is the only person to rival her. Do we want to say Switch or Ace? I feel like he's not a bottom.
I feel like Rhys is a bottom.
You think he's a bottom?
Yeah.
Why do you think he's a bottom?
I don't know if this is like I just see him and like he's just so breedable. Like the way he acts is so like breedable energy in terms of like being like kind of frail and like, but he also gets like, I think have you seen Ulki's and Rhys's support, by the way?
I don't think I've seen Ulki's support with anyone but Shinon, because I got their support as a meme because they're both pretty bad.
Nice. But yeah, like it's that support is about Rhys like, oh, I wish I had wings, like I could soar in the skies, all like, and Ulki takes him like for a flight.
That's really cute.
And turns out that Ulki really wore himself down flying, because like he couldn't say no to Rhys because it made Rhys so happy.
That's so fucking adorable. Oh my god, I love that.
It's so cute. Like, it was actually such a, like, heartwarming support to read.
Now I kind of want to use him next playthrough.
Yeah, no, like, all of Ulki's supports I actually really like.
Well,
also, I think you're thinking of Janaff and Shinon.
Yeah, Janaff and Shinon have the support, right. Janaff is actually, like, kind of mid. Ulki's just bad. But that's neither here nor there. Well, as the Ulki support expert, where do you think his supports land him? Because I've never really used him, so I haven't really dived into Mr. Goblin Face's supports.
Like, Ulki's thing is, like, you know, yeah, Goblin Face.
He's the Green Goblin, but, like, in a cute way. You know, like, he's a cute goblin. Goblin these nuts!
He's actually a very nice person. Leads me maybe. I feel like not top, like switch bottom ace.
Are you saying nice people can't be tops? The slander from Stigurna.
No. That's not at all what I'm saying. My girl, my wife, very, very kind. Good top. Oh my god, kill me.
I'll put him in ace, I think.
Kill me. I'm sorry.
I think the kill me line will land you pretty squarely in one place. Speaking of kill me, though, someone who does the killing, I feel like Shinon, honestly, probably ace is good for him too, but like for the opposite reasons of like the wholesome ones. He's just kind of like too much of a dick. Really just seems obsessed with like racism and money.
Yeah, though, like, yeah, it's really hard to decipher anything from Shinon. He never shows any kind of interest in anyone, really.
Yeah. Other than Rolf, like, for some reason, he takes a shine to Rolf, and I've delved into, like, all his supports and shit, to try to figure out, like, more about this character, because he's just an enigma, and I don't know. I don't know too much about him.
Yeah, so it's like hard to categorize him at all in this list, I think.
I think Gatrie would be like a top, but like a really toxic top. Like one of those but like toxic in a way that's like milady, I'm gonna open the door for you.
Know. Like I feel like Gatrie would also be the kind of guy who like goes on Twitter and is like, please step on me. You know?
Oh yeah, just like slides into your DMs, like slides into strangers' DMs and he's like, step on me.
Something like that. Just like see someone with some nice heels. Like I feel like he might be like, I see the toxic top, but I'm thinking maybe switch or top.
No, I think he just wants, he's chasing the ladies. He wants whatever he can get. He wants whatever. But like toxic switch.
Actually, yep.
Toxic switch. The rare toxic switch. We found it, gamers.
They're a thing.
Speaking of step on me, like needs no explanation.
Yeah. Yep.
Hey, I'm sorry, but if you don't understand why Petrine is up there, you haven't played Path of Radiance.
I haven't been on the internet for much at all either.
Is this controversial? It might be influenced by her gameplay, how she just dominates gameplay. But is that controversial? I feel like she should be and now I'm doing the top slander because I put another of the hothead characters in the top category. But I feel like Marcia, like she's a take charge. She's a take charge individual in the battlefield and the bedroom.
I can see that.
I don't know. Oh, crackers.
I think that's fine. Like a lot of the characters who don't like show any kind of like, I want to say romantic interest in anyone, like is obviously like more difficult to try like put into scenarios that are top and bottom and whatever else, I feel.
True, although I definitely think some of them, like, more so than others, like Reyson, for example, he's never in any, like, in either game, he's never in any, like, romantic situation, but I feel like my man's a top, like, right?
Oh, yeah.
If we wanna talk, like, you know, characters who do not belong in, like, or not necessarily don't belong, but don't end up in, like, a romantic or sexual situation, he's still, like...
True.
He's a fighter.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. There's like some yard work going on next door. It was causing noise, so I decided to wait a little bit for the all of it to end. But do you have anywhere you want us particularly dive into now that we've just like gotten back?
I think let's just follow the list. Like yeah. So I feel like Mordecai is I definitely think he's either top or bottom. He's either a very gentle, like, loving top, or, like, just kind of this, like, bare bottom, you know? And
yeah.
I could see him go either way. So I guess he could also be a switch then, if, like...
I feel like he's one of those people who says he's a switch because he's willing to go either way, but he does have a strong preference. Like, I used to be that way. I used to say I'm a switch... because I was willing to bottom, but I really didn't like it. Or not even like it, but didn't want to, you know?
Yeah.
I get that energy from Mordecai as well. I feel like he can do the bare bottom stuff, and he'll do it because, much like some other characters we've talked about on this list, he's a generous lover. But I think where he wants to be is right here.
Gotcha.
Another cat girl, or I guess cat boy, W.
True. So true. Next up was Volke. I feel like Volke is ace, because, like, he just doesn't, like, he is so on guard and serious all the time. Like, first of all, there's no way he has game, and no way he cares about it. That's absolutely. We get so little about his character, but I feel like what we do get, we can pretty solidly put him here. It's like, he's the character in Telius who we get the least about, and that includes some of the Radiant Dawn people. Like, we probably get less about Vika, but, like, I feel like we get more about Edward than we do about Volke, which is kind of ridiculous, because Volke is, like, in 2 games, and he's a main character in Path of Radiance. Like, he is one of the characters who can't die because of plot reasons, and yet we get more about Edward than we do about Volke. So crazy. Oh, this is gonna be the first hothead we don't just put in top, right? Like, I can't see him topping. No. It's like he's not ace though either.
No. I feel like
he's too hormones, you know, to be ace.
Yeah, I mean, he might be functionally ace because, like, he just is oblivious to a lot of stuff. But I think that's more of an incel thing than it is, like, him actually being asexual. If that makes sense. Like, I don't think Kieran has ever had sex. I think he is still a virgin by the end of Radiant Dawn. But I also feel like it's not by his choice. I am leaning towards putting him in the same tier as Titania for consistency, because when he uses a Master Seal, he just becomes Titania too. Do you think he's a bottom?
I think that's funny, so yeah.
I also, if I want to back that up with supports, right? He's constantly self-flagellating, albeit by accident, but, like, he has a support with Marcia where he accidentally sticks his own axe in his head doing acrobatics and stuff. And maybe it wasn't an accident.
Oh,
maybe he's just, like, really into impact play, like a bit too much. Impact play, but with an axe.
I can see that, sort of.
You're the Nephenee expert, so I will defer to your judgment 100% on this one.
Nephenee's kind of, let's see. So, like, she's very shy because, like, she doesn't want to be seen as a country gal and be made fun of.
Well, then why did you give her the country glance? So rude.
That's what she is. Like, she's afraid of being made fun of for that. And she has, like, an interest in kind of, like, appearing more, like, refined than that, to avoid that. But, like, I can't really say that... It's kind of difficult, because, like, the only support and, like, time where she's, like, really herself is when she's talking with Braum.
And he's so wholesome. I love him.
Braum, love him. Yeah.
Braum says gay rights. Like, Braum unironically says gay rights in Radiant Dawn. It's amazing. I love him.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't fucking know about Nephenee, really.
I mean, if we want to stereotype, shy, timid, wants to, like, sort of, like, appear dainty and dressed up, I feel like that's bottom behavior.
Yeah.
I feel like Nephenee uses the pleading eyes emoji.
True, actually. Yeah, if she's... Yeah. I can see that.
Like, 2023 Nephenee would slide into your DMs with just the pleading eyes emoji and no text, expecting you to understand what she meant.
Zihark.
I want to say Ace.
Yeah, no, like... I totally get that, like, him being in... Like, you know the story of Zihark, right?
Yeah, where he's like, his ex-lover was Laguz, and she died, and that led him to, like, want to, fight for Laguz's rights. That's why he joined those mercs in POR, and that's why you can recruit him out of the Dawn Brigade in RD if you want to, like, have a horrible time on 3-13.
Zihark also says that, that after breaking up, he doesn't think he'll ever love again.
Yeah, it's kind of tragic.
It is. Like, Zihark is, like, one of the sleeper, well-written characters in the Tellius series.
Yeah, it's funny. There's quite a few Tellius characters who benefit from the, like, or suffer, depending on how you feel about it, but, like, my best writing is in the supports you'll never see. You know, like the part where Maya gets her toes sucked.
Yep. The best part.
Oh my god, my favorite character in all of Fire Emblem. Where do I put Jill? Like, my instinct is to just put her in top because I'm one, but I don't know that is accurate to her. I feel like... Honestly, I kind of want to put Jill in Ace as well, and I don't really have any justification for that other than vibes.
Yeah?
Like, it's just vibes.
Yeah. Like, I also think, like, like, I don't have anything to back it up. I just, yeah, I feel like that makes sense.
Talking about, like, people whose best characterization is hidden in the supports, like, if you just play the game and never get her supports, it's just, like, generic Wyvern joins the good guys team, but there's so much in there.
That's not true. I disagree, actually. I feel like Jill is probably one of the characters that gets, like, outside of the main cast, is definitely the most developed, like, unit, because of, like, what you get from
Daddy?
Like, recruitment chapter, and, yeah, the whole, like, thing with, fighting against Lord
Shinharam.
Yeah.
There's also some talk combos, like, unrelated to those. I mean, while we're here with Shinharam, I'm gonna go ahead and put him in top. No explanation. He's just there.
Okay.
It's just where he goes.
That's just where he goes.
That's just where he goes. And similarly, I think that's where Astrid goes.
Think?
Or Switch, maybe. I feel like she's definitely not a bottom. She would hate being put in that category because of the, like, striving for independence type deal. I know that, like, the Makalov thing, is probably gonna, like, flavor how, like where she ends up, because she is in, I would describe it as an abusive relationship with Makalov, in Radiant Dawn, the, like, I can fix him type deal. But I don't necessarily think that, like, I feel like for some people that might put her to bottom, but I feel like rather than, like, a top-bottom thing, it's more of a, like, abuser thing, where, like, you know, and not like, you know, some sort of extreme thing, but, you know, he's a shitty, toxic guy who she's fallen for and thinks she can fix, and I don't necessarily think that necessarily puts them in, like, you know, we got some toxic people in all these areas, you know, we got toxic Step on Me Mommy, we got toxic, we got the toxic switch, so...
Toxic, we have Soren and toxic bottom.
Oh, you're gonna make some people mad with that take. You're right, but you're gonna make some people mad. We got a couple of toxic aces, too. I think... What if they both end up in Switch? You know, that's kind of why they ended up together.
Yeah, I think I can see it.
I feel like Muarim is ace. Like, the best relationship he's ever had is with Tormod. Like, the father-son one.
Yeah.
Like, he's ace, but he's, like, one of those aces who's, like, takes pride in the family he's got. Like, the family he's made. And, you know, it's not biological, but it doesn't change it. I think he's very much that. Very stoic, too, which, you know, that doesn't necessarily mean anything, but...
Yeah.
We're going off vibes.
And speaking of vibes, Stefan, like, correct me if I'm wrong, also kind of gives ace vibes. We don't really see much of him or hear much of him.
Yeah, it's weird.
But...
He's got, like, a boss combo with a guy that's just, like, completely random.
What, really?
Yeah, he has a boss combo with the guy on the map where you killed Reyson, because they're both green-haired swordmasters, and he's like, oh, finally, like, we're gonna see who's the better swordmaster. Like, they talk to each other. It's really weird. It, like, semi-implies that they've had some sort of previous relationship, but it is never elaborated on in either Path of Radiance or Radiant Dawn in anywhere in the game. It's so weird. The Windsword Swordmaster, it's really fucking weird.
Well, anyway, I just think he just has the vibes of Ace.
Yeah, I'll put him here. We're really filling out the Ace chart. Tellius has a lot of characters who don't like fucking, and we love them for that. Oh, I really don't want to rate this character. Oh, I get super uncomfortable talking about Devdan. Just because, like, everything around him is terrible. I don't know where to put him. Like, I don't like thinking about this guy having sex, but I don't think that makes an ace by default. It's more just I don't like the fact that there's a minstrel show character in Fire Emblem. I really don't.
Okay, well we can just make a tier that's no. We don't want to rank.
We'll put him in child. Oh, just because, like, these are, like, we're not touching any of this. So, like, we're not touching him either. I don't know. Unless if you have strong feelings about where to put him, I'll put him there. I'm just saying, I don't really know where he would go as a result of that.
Okay. I don't need to, like, talk about that. We can just move on.
Self-explanatory, right?
Okay. Oh,
do you not think it's self-explanatory?
Well, you can explain.
She's like one of those, like, drill sergeant doms. And it's because she's, like, actually a drill sergeant in, like, she's a IRL drill sergeant. But I feel like she would carry that into the bedroom too. Okay. But she does it in, like, a super, like, I don't want to say supportive, because, like, there is some, like, shit there with, like, the, but she's trying, like, she believes that it is best. She's not doing it out of cruelty. Like, her Marcia support, I read some amount of, that, where, like, I'm punishing you because I know you can take it, I believe in you, and I'm hurt by the fact that you abandoned us because you had such potential type deal. I mean, she's also, like, she orders those yellow units around and they obey her like little simps. So, I don't know. I feel confident in top, and I feel like a lot of that is just sort of the role in the army, transitioning into the bedroom.
Yeah.
Where do you think this guy goes, though?
Janaff. Uncle Janaff, as he, refers to, I don't remember who, but yeah, he has, like, someone, like, call me uncle. I think it's Oscar, actually.
Based?
Because I think Janaff, like, treats Oscar as, like, an idiot child. Because he
as he should! Fuck Oscar!
He finds out that Oscar is 27. And
what?!
Yeah, or something like that. And Janaff goes like, "Oh my god, you're a fucking baby," because Laguz lived for so long.
Yeah, like hundreds of years, right? Like 100-year-olds are considered children in the bird tribes, I think.
Yeah, it's like, no wonder you're a rude idiot.
Yeah, that makes sense. Based being
Janaff
mean to Oscar, though.
Very, very funny support. You should definitely read it.
Yeah, Based being mean to Oscar. I have such a hate boner for this guy.
But yeah, Janaff is, like, I actually, after reading his supports, I kind of like him as a character. He has some funny supports, but, I don't know. Does he, I'm just feeling like maybe even, should have bought him? I don't know.
You think he's a bottom?
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe he's just, like, mean to Oscar in, like, a bratty way. More than, like a dominant way.
It's definitely not that. I just feel like it's just the vibe.
It's just the vibe? We're going just vibes? We can do just vibes, like, we can do, like, just a vibes speed round, right? Like, whose vibes... Where's Calill's vibes land her? Like, I'm thinking switch, but leaning top, like, top lean switch, right? You know?
I was actually thinking
sliding
bottom.
scale. Ooh, interesting. Is that, like, Largo related? Yeah, I think it makes sense to talk about people who are dating or married near each other. But is that Largo related, or is that just, like, Calill and her own?
Okay, but actually, so are they dating, or did they used to date?
They're married. I believe he's her husband at the time. I know in Radiant Dawn they're married, but I believe in Path of Radiance they're also married.
Why is Calill thirsting over other people then? Like, do they have a poly?
Yeah, maybe they're polyamorous. Like, don't shame them, you know?
No, I would just be surprised to see that, because they don't mention that at all.
This is the new based trouble. They've got an open relationship. Well, maybe they're married. Oh, okay, so here's where the big brain comes in, right? Because I've always gotten Ace vibes from Largo. Maybe they're, like, he's Ace and she's not, and that's why they have an open relationship.
He's looking for a fuckboy.
Well, like, maybe... No, I feel like fuckboy is... Well, it's not necessarily a negative connotation. It has negative... Like, it feels negative. But yeah, that's probably accurate.
I just wanted to say the funny word.
You just wanted to say fuckboy?
Yeah.
I think Largo's Ace, and I feel like he and Calill are still married, and they have, like, an open relationship partially because of that.
Gotcha.
So you think you got bottom vibes from her. I'm willing to go there.
Yeah. I think she'd be into, like, some, like, princess captured shit.
Oh, that's why she's looking for a knight in shining armor.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's some, like, Princess RP stuff. Maybe, like, that, maybe, so, if bear with me, you know, Largo's Berserker, that's the Bandit Barbarian thing, maybe that's part of, like, the roleplay. Is he does the kidnapping, you know, like some Mario, Peach, Bowser or polyamorous thing? Like, how, there's, you know, the theory Mario, Peach, and Bowser are polyamorous, and, like, Mario, and they have, like, the kidnapping kink, right? Like, maybe that's what's going on with Largo, and he's like, I still get ace vibe from him, but like you can be kinky and ace. And I think
Oh my god.
he kidnaps Calill, and then they have the knight in shining armor come and rescue her. Oh, I love this.
That is so fucking good. Oh my god.
I've struggled to call Joffrey a top, but I feel like in order for this triumphant to work out, he has to be at least a switch, right?
No, I feel like Joffrey is another one of those like kind of wants maybe wants to be top, but like kind of or like maybe isn't necessarily like a top, but definitely is capable of fulfilling the role.
Are you really a top, or are you so much of a bottom that you're willing to dominate your partner if they tell you to? He's that.
Yeah. But like he can like do it pretty well, I think. Still.
Speaking of people who do things well, Bullfighter, where's he end up?
Bullfighter, canonically not asexual.
Oh, does he have a kid?
Yeah, he has a kid. And
wait, is Bryce his kid? Or is Bryce his husband? I feel like he has a relationship with Bryce, or is it just because they used to be writers together?
Just because they used to be writers. And
ex-boyfriends. It was never elaborated on, but they were definitely ex-boyfriends. They kissed once, I saw it.
I saw it in the it's only in the Japanese version, actually.
Yeah, it got censored. It got censored in the translation. They censored our kiss. No Bullfighter kiss for us. Where do we think he goes then? It's not here, obviously.
Tornado gets very little character, like, did his supports. Like, yeah. Like, Tornado and Rolf, like, that's basically just, honestly, just like a backstory for Tornado.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's him and Largo just talking about, like, making the most awesome pub ever.
I feel like Tornado is, like, one of those old gays. Like, he's because he's old now, right? Like, he's actually, he used to be a writer as well. He's sort of, like, retired from, writerdom.
Yeah.
I feel like he's one of those, like, he's sort of done with the scene. He's not really, like, he's grown out of, being sexually active. But I'm thinking maybe he was a monster when he was younger. Like a big ol' power bottom. Like, very power bottom. To rival Titania. I don't know, that's the vibes.
That's acceptable.
There's only one type of sleeping that Haar is interested in.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Like, I love Haar. I love him. Yeah, I'm a little sleep bitch too. I'm gonna put them together. I'm not a huge fan of the ship, TBH. I prefer, like, the father-daughter type deal. They do unfortunately have a paired ending in Tellius. But I like it better with them as father-daughter, TBH. Surrogate father, right?
In Radiant Dawn or Path of Radiance?
In Radiant Dawn. In Radiant Dawn, they can end up together, like, married. But I like it better where, cause, like, so Shinharam was basically Jill's second dad. Or not Shinharam. Haar was basically Jill's second dad. Like, raised her alongside Shinharam. Shinharam, of course, being Jill's first dad. But yeah, that's why it's, like, a little bit, you know, everyone talks about, like, Soth Micaiah discourse as, like, groomer stuff, and I think that using the word groomer about any of the relationships in Tellius is, like, an over-exaggeration. But I get more uncomfortable with Haar Jill than I do with Soth Micaiah.
Yeah, for sure. Especially, like, because at the end of their A support in Path of Radiance, like, their relationship ends up just, like, being, Haar's just like, hey, you want to make some money, like, being like a ferry company.
They're a delivery company together, and they are still that in Radiant Dawn, but then you can, like, have them get married, which is so weird to me because there's even a talk convo in part 3 where Ike asks Haar, like, hey, so you and Jill, like, you're dating, right? And Haar's like, no, like, we have a close relationship, but I'm like a father to her, and her other father died.
What?
It's really weird that then they have a paired ending. Like, I don't obviously, you know, ship who you want, but I don't I don't like this shit. You don't need my approval to be like, I want these characters to kiss. And it's perfectly fine for it, but it's just not one that I'm a fan of.
I think that's kind of weird.
Speaking of people who are weird, Shakespeare.
Yeah. The.
I mean, is any good theater kid anything but a switch? He has to play the role he's put in.
I like that, actually. I like that. I was about to say bottom, but I like that.
No, I feel like he's willing to do either topping or bottoming, but he's dramatic about it no matter what. Bastian is a very fun character. I think his speech pattern is a little annoying that it never lets up, just because it's annoying to read, and it would probably be even more annoying if it was voice acted. But I do think he's, like, incredibly fun and goofy, and I love the situations he ends up in. His Volke support, where Volke is, like, throwing daggers at him, is very funny. We can leapfrog you. I don't know how you got up there, Bryson. Oh, yeah, because I wanted you to be, like, making out with Bullfighter.
Yeah.
Where do we want to put Alincia's girlfriend?
Is that their thing?
No, but a lot of people like it. I think it's like a decent ship. I never really read Alincia as queer. Lucia probably, but not Alincia. But a lot of people really like that ship, and it also upsets some people to call her Lucia's girlfriend. Like, it upsets homophobes. So I'm fine with that.
They've got the looks for a good couple.
Yeah, I think of them more as sisters just because of, like, being raised together type deal. But I don't think it's, like, I don't think it's a stretch. It's just not one that I buy, if that makes sense. Like, I don't think, oh, you're reaching, you know. It's not like something where I'm like, I don't see it at all. But it's also not like, you know, Bryson and Tyronia, where they practically say, let's have gay sex in their boss combo.
Yeah. Yeah. I hear you.
But where does that leave her?
I'll be honest, no idea. I don't mind, like, leaving her for later.
Sure. You want to talk about the princess?
Yeah.
I feel like she comes into her own, and, like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, she does, but I feel like she'd still be a bottom in bed.
Yeah, same way as Titania, I feel like. The idea of, like, she spends so much time being in charge and making the hard decisions. When it's time to relax, she just wants someone else to take complete control.
I also think, like, Alincia would key smash, you know?
Yeah,
like,
no, for sure.
Alincia would key smash.
That absolutely. Yeah, and I don't think this is, like, because Alincia is someone I really like as a character, and I really like her, especially in Radiant Dawn, but even in Path of Radiance, like, I think she is very well depicted as, like, a strong woman, and I don't want the bottom status to, like, because oftentimes people can, like, sort of associate that with, like, a lack of strength, but, like, Titania's in here. They're next to each other, because they're here for, like, similar reasons, I think. Some of the strongest units in the game are in bottom tier. I love that.
Yeah, like, definitely.
Oh my god!
And Bullfighter.
I think Naisala is probably a bottom too.
You think?
Yeah, just look at his face. Look at his face. Look at that boy. Do you disagree?
I don't know. I feel like he wouldn't show any kind of weakness or vulnerability, even in
bed?
That situation. Yeah.
So that's why things didn't work out between him and Reyson. Because when two tops end up in a relationship, it's Beyblades.
Beyblades, yep.
It's Beyblades moment.
That's what I think, anyway.
I'm putting the shadow there. I feel like that's where he belongs. Like, I feel like that is pretty distinct, right? Tibarn, I just sort of skipped the dragons because I don't really know how to talk about them. Like, I don't have experience with the scaly community, which is why I skipped them to go to the Lagoos. But I think, to Wings Brothers, keep up with me if you can. Bit of a showboat. Are we thinking, like, top or switch, I'm leaning? But I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, I think he's a switch who calls himself a top, but, like, knows he isn't.
I think that makes sense. I think a switcher top.
Like, he knows he's a switch deep down, but he calls himself a top. And he's, like, very showboaty about it. But in sort of, like, teasing way, where, like, people say, nah, you're not. And he's like, yeah, I know, but I'm still gonna put on this air, because it's fun. Because he's just having fun with it. He's just here for fun. Do we want to talk about the Scalies?
I mean...
And by extension, Rajan?
I don't really know what there is to say. There, like, if anything, I feel like... I know Nazir's, again, literally not Ace. But...
Yeah, because grandfather... Well, you can be Ace and still have children. You just, you know... You don't necessarily, I don't necessarily think that, like, having had a child disqualifies someone from the Ace conversation.
I see.
Because, like, so Rajan and Anna have a kid as well. Spoilers for the end of Radiant Dawn, I suppose. But yeah, Anna is pregnant at the time of Radiant Dawn. With Rajan's child. No, Radiant Dawn. Well, I mean, I guess it would be both, technically, because Rajan... Yeah, how long do dragons stay pregnant? It's so weird. But yeah, I don't know what to do with the Scalies, you know?
Yeah.
People with scale sonas, sound off in the comments, let me know what you think. But, off of vibes, I'm going to put them all in Switch.
Yeah, okay.
Actually, Rajan's a bottom.
I like that.
Oliver wants to get stepped on hardcore.
Yep.
Like, hardcore. Step on me, Reyson. Ooh, woo. If it weren't for the fact that he's such, like, a toxic creep, he and Reyson would actually make a good couple. But, like, Oliver's a creepy fucking slave owner rapist guy. And I feel like any of the words in that sentence are deal breakers, and all of them together are especially so.
Speaking of deal breakers, Ashnard.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I feel like if there has ever been a more toxic top in the history of Tellius, he literally, like, drives Rajan mad in order to, like, ride him all over the place. Like he's an animal. Yeah, I don't like putting Ashnard in top, but I feel like he has to be. He's so toxic, though. Yeah. Spoilers, the guy who started a war based on racism and also founds a whole country on, like, gladiatorially killing each other is toxic. I'm gonna cancel him now.
Cancel Ashnard.
Oh.
I totally forget this guy exists.
Yeah, he's the Boltax guy who has cipher art. I don't remember his name. He is, like, the leader of the Wyverns after Shinharam's dead. Like, he's the leader of the Dane Wyverns after Shinharam dies and Har betrays them. I don't really know what to do with him, because he has, like, he's in the Eat Rock chapter, and he's got, like, 1 or 2 boss combos. And one of them is, like, the generic one where he's just like, die!
Can we just put him in bottom just because I think it'd be funny?
Sure. I don't even remember his name. Mustin is a switch. Amy is a fucking bottom for Ike. Like a hardcore bottom for Ike. Hardcore bottom. And I like the idea of putting the twins in different tiers from each other.
One being top, one being bottom.
Sure. We'll do this.
Yeah.
I love the merchants in Path of Radiance. I really wish... So, can I tell you, this sidetrack, but, like, can I tell you about my greatest, like, disappointment with Engage? we got names for the merchants in chapters 4 and 5 when they join, and I was so excited because I was like, oh, this is going to be the second coming of the Path of Radiant merchants, where they're like really interesting and fun characters, and they like show up at multiple points in the plot. In Radiant Dawn, like they move between armies, they're very fun, I love them, and then suddenly, no, the engaged merchants are literally just, they're given names for no reason. They all have, like, one line of dialogue, and it's like, how can I help you? Oh, you have the silver card? Oh, how can I help you? And then I think it's the armorer. It's like, I dropped a sword down the well. Please get it for me. Thank you.
I think Aimee, the cutscene, the talk conversation with Aimee, Shinon, and Ike is, like, one of the funniest fucking cutscenes.
Which one? Is it the one where Shinon, like, gives Aimee the silencer? Or is it a different one?
It's like I think Aimee, like, just really, like, Aimee's begging, or maybe that's just Aimee and Ike, actually.
I know there's some Aimee, Ike, Soren ones where Soren, like, goes top mode briefly. Like, he's like, I know what you are, and handles her. Those are some fun ones.
Amy's just desperate for that Ike D.
She's down bad for that blue hair dussy.
The fuck?
Look, it wouldn't be a Kaga game without a mind control fetish. And we can talk about this character's secret identity in Radiant Dawn. But in Path of Radiance, absolutely a bottom. Like, it's a fetish. Him in Radiant Dawn, I feel like completely different character. But Bertram, I think, is the name that they give him when they mind control him with the Kagak helmet. For once, the mind control is not a little girl. Fucking based behavior from the Path of Radiance devs. We did it, gamers. I want to put Sigrun and Switch out of deference to the people who ship her and Tanith with each other. But I don't know if I can justify that. Like, how do you feel about Sigrun?
I feel like she's a bottom.
You think she's a bottom? Interesting. Is it just vibes, like the face, or
the vibes? I just think she really likes being of service. Yeah, I feel like I can see her in a maid outfit. Yeah.
I feel like I can see him in a maid outfit too.
Yeah.
How do we feel about Tironio's ex-lover? Bryce, who there's like a 2,000-word conversation, 2,000 pages long conversation between Bryce and Tironio, where they recount...
one of the Japanese devs actually just like accidentally copy pasted their fan fiction.
Yeah, they have a paired ending actually. If you recruit Bryce, they have a paired ending. If you steal his spirit dust. If you steal his spirit dust and use it to cap Oscar's magic, then Tironio and Bryce have a paired ending. And then kill Oscar, yes. Then Bryce is like, I see now that this war is pointless. You have sacrificed the most worthless person in your army for me. Come, Tironio, let's honeymoon together. I'm gonna put him in Switch.
Do we put him in top just to ship with Tironio?
They can ship as Switch and a bottom. Switch and bottom can work. And that leaves the character who I don't really know what to do with. Like, I don't want to put her in Ace, because she doesn't give me those vibes. But I also don't know where to put her other than that. And I don't want to put her in Child, because we already pulled that for the blackface dude. Where do we put the worst unit in the game? Which of these categories gets cursed with the worst unit in the game?
I mean, well, when you put it like that, bottom tier, right?
Oh, don't be mean to the bottoms. I guess she balances out Titania. She balances out Titania.
The bottom tier characters, Lucia and Black Knight.
Yeah, someone take a screenshot of just the bottom and say that I did some sort of fucking tier list where I rated characters based on their viability, and I think Titania's bad because she steals experience.
So true.
Make sure to use this clip out of context as well. Thank you all for joining in. I will be accepting no feedback because I'm objectively correct, but if you have incorrect opinions, leave them in the comments. And thank you for joining me, Stigurna. If you haven't already, check out Stigurna on twitch.tv/ is it twitch.tv/Stigurna, or is it something different than that?
Yeah, no, you got it.
Awesome. And you have a YouTube channel as well, so go ahead and check that out. And while you're checking out YouTube channels, go to my second channel, youtube.com/WatchMojo, where I rank the top 10 bottoms in Fire Emblem.